Okay, this is what I've got so far on a steering. I've got this thing, the yoke of this steering. My pivot point right there is that 1-inch pipe. If you've seen my previous episode, you can see what I'm talking about. But the idea is that 1-inch pipe, right at my little pinky. It's hard to hold the camera. I don't have a stand. Sorry. I need to upgrade the production level here. But anyway, that front wheel steering, just one wheel, is the idea. And so I'm trying to get this thing positioned so this will go into this pipe. A little bit of play there, but I figure I could maybe put some bushing, you know, like a big bushing in there or something. It wouldn't take much thickness, you know. But anyway, to go back to steering, so it's got to go right here, like this angle. And I could achieve that. I just need to do a pipe. Set this down. So if I did a pipe that went up in a V shape down, so I'm thinking that I need like 13 inches. It's going to go on top of that pipe as a sleeve. Up 13 inches and down 13 inches and a rise of like 9 inches. I think that'll work. Alright, bye. Now I came across another piece hanging in the yard. I got parts all over the place. I put this thing together for something. I think I support for a hose or something. It needs a little bit more weld right there on both sides of that tube. And then right, you know, this thing, I think this thing is from an old swing set. That thing goes off that way, but this thing bends back going, so I'm going to have to cut that end of that and flip it around 180 degrees. But that's the good thing about metal. You can just keep on cutting it apart until it suits your needs. But check this out. It's like perfect right here. In fact, I'm going to use those holes right there. Weld a couple bolts and just connect it through bolts. I'm finding that bolts are stronger than my welds. My welds are pretty weak because I don't have really good penetration. But get it up to about right here, and then I can get that connected into here. I have to put a tube connected to there. So I think there's a strong possibility there. You see what I mean? This is going the right way, but this thing's curving back straight. I want to cut this like about right here and then flip it around 180 degrees and then re-weld it back on. That's the plan for now. Alright, bye. I got that one twisted around, re-welded. So see, both going in the same direction. That's going down, that's going down. I tried to, so see how it's looking? It's looking pretty good. And then the steering yoke mounted to that. Put a bar over to the side on each side from there. And then I was going to just bend that thing up, but it pointed out the weakness of this joint because there's only one rivet there. So I'm going to tack those things together and then try to bend that angle so the bracket is parallel with that piece right there. Alright, making progress. Check it out! I've been doing some welding today. It's the heat of the day too, and then I took a break. But I got both sides. I almost tripped and fell. And touched up a few places where it's a weld, but I got the front, it's centered, right on 10 inches, right on the center point. It's not exactly symmetrical, but it's what do you expect for free materials. I was thinking about just getting like a 1-inch conduit and bending it. It would be better looking, but it's functional. And then I have to do a better weld on this thing. It just tacked on there with this thick metal, because that's 1-inch solid steel. So it take a lot more than my little stupid little MIG machine to put that on. But this thing, I had to put a piece like right there, underneath there, so it gives me an anchor point. But that worked out pretty good. See how it misses? You turn it, so it misses this front piece. You know, so it's working out pretty good. I thought it was more of going to be a tractor look, but it looked to me like, you know, like a slope front end. It looks more like a go-kart almost, but I'm not really digging on the rear of the seat. I think it looks too funky. So I'm gonna have to work on that one. And I have to come up with the drive system too on this thing still. But it's coming together. So I got that going for me. Alright, bye. Check this idea out. I thought about, it'd be nice that if this thing was removable, you know. So if I need to work on it, I can and weld on the underside. I'm not very good for welding upside down. So what I did is I welded on 2 bolts, cut the tops of them, or the bottoms of them off, and so they're pins. So and then on the back, give a nut, and right where this thing hits, right here, in the center of that tube, weld a nut. And I'll drill a hole through it, and then I could run a bolt through there, and so this whole thing is removable. So I think that's a good idea. Anyway, that's the one I'm going with for now. Alright, bye. Here's my revised seat. So I took off that back brace. It was too complicated. It fell down right there. But this is the only bolt that's tight right now. I need to tighten up these other 2. But that'll be a lot better look, because it looks pleated now. So that's a lot cooler. Yeah, I think it actually looks better without that back brace. So I'll use that thing for something else. So if anything, I clean it up. I don't know if I'll ever use that crazy pointed thing, my crazy diamond idea. But hey, you keep on. That's what happens. You know, you don't have a concept. You have a concept you're going with, but I just deviated. All right, bye.
This is Fast Dad right here. There he is. He just can't wait even for help. Ah! Here's kind of the first look at the frame. With everything off. The frame looked fairly decent early on. It is very dirty, and obviously the back section is bad. The brackets on the inside here that go to the frame are still in good enough shape, and the floor in that area is good enough. So we take the fender off, we cut the complete forward piece off. Getting them all cut out. Repaired the bottom of that dash support. Still have to do that one. Once those are done, we can actually put the panels, the new panels, on. So Ted made it out of 1/4-inch plate, and then added right there a 1/2-inch plate. That 1/2-inch plate is actually bolted on, so it can be taken on and off and put from one side to the other. Then back here, we've got the radius, the rear radius for the Jeep. So we actually bent this little bend in the brake, put it in the brake and bent that. And now we got it clamped, and then we'll hammer form that down and around. Okay.
There's a seat. It looks pretty good, I think. You know, that's the front with the 2, and the back I put 1 bolt on the back. But I like the pleated look. It's pretty cool. And I'm still working on the other. I painted the front, so I had to weld the 2 nuts. Haven't done that yet, but getting there. All right, bye. Here's the bracket I'm working on. This is going to the top tube, and this is what well, that circle. I'm trying to conform. It's hard to get to that circle. You know, I don't have a good circular cutter, so I'm just using my little little die grinder, corded, wonderful little tool. Anyway, so once I get that, they'll hang the pipe for the steering. So one step closer, getting close. All right, bye. I keep on trying to get to a point to have the steering done for you guys, but I'm going backwards. That 1-inch solid steel piece, I didn't like it. It wasn't going to work out. So I switched it over to this piece. It held on better than I thought it would, because it took a lot of grinding to get it off. But it just worked out because I found this. I mean, this is what piece I was cutting on, and this ended up the piece that was left over. But the link is like perfect, and it's more, you know, like the thinner tube. I can weld it. I know I can weld it good, but that one solid piece, I did a good job, because it took me a lot of effort to get it off. But I'm liking this a lot better. And with the pipe I have, look how it fits. Like it's made to fit there. But I had to cut off. There's a lip because they use like a pipe cutter on the end of this. And when they use a pipe cutter, it pushes it material inside. So that's why you got this that hit right there. So it hits solid. But if I had like a grinder, I can grind it inside of that. Or if I had my mini lathe working, that would work too. But I have neither. So I'm gonna have to improvise. But I like the way this is going. and this video is getting way too long. So I'm gonna end this. Let's call it part 1. Part 2 of the steering is will to be to come. All right, bye.